Hope is that thing that keeps us going. Hope is whatever it is that's within us that motivates us to step forward instead of staying still. I joined the Navy after college, which got me out west. But I kind of lost my way. I did become an alcoholic. And the loneliness, it made it harder to be myself, harder to figure out who I was supposed to be. As I would come to learn, that's a pretty universal experience for anyone with addiction. It starts with loneliness. And I finally started to get into recovery groups that was sort of what planted the seed, the brainchild of what church can be. And that's when I learned what it meant to gain by giving away, by becoming strong, by being vulnerable, to attain hope by giving hope, to feel loved by loving more. People know what parish ministry looks like. They know what Sunday morning church is. But I think we're at a defining era of church and community. Things are changing. And I know that a lot of people are mourning that. And it's a loss worth mourning. But at the same time, it's also a revolutionary moment in history. We have a chance, an opportunity to redefine what it means to be church. Shame and stigma have always been the barrier to recovery. And, as Nineveh is trying to figure out a way to respond to this need with our own limitations, there is no limit on compassion. You don't need a doctorate in compassion. So it starts that willing heart, that willing mind to try to develop some understanding around mental health and how we can create as faith communities safe spaces for people to bring that sickness and not be stigmatized or isolated for it. If all I can do is to create a space where people are free to be themselves and unafraid of being judged and want to come back and share that with other people, then I have done my job. The only cure for despair is to find community. When you learn to see the divine within yourself, to see the spirit within yourself, the image of God within yourself, you're then empowered. You're free to love your neighbor. And when you love your neighbor, you don't want to destroy your neighbor. You're not scared of your neighbor. You want to help them, and they in turn want to help you. It's a beautiful cycle of creation, and it takes, that first step is to recognize that you're not alone in this universe. We have equal capacity for creation as we do destruction, and making that decision to choose creation demands that we see the humanity in other people. In AA we used to say that as long as you're alive, you have hope. Hope isn't optimism, but it's the knowledge that it's worth it to take another breath.